Hey everyone, welcome back to Zero's Hobbies, and thank you so much for stopping by. Really quick unboxing and review today. I want to talk about the new Getting Started with Warhammer 40K magazine. They usually release these with a new edition of the game. So, there was one in 8th edition, 9th edition, and now the 10th edition. When I have them all, because I thought they were great little purchases, but this one is like 21 bucks. So I kind of like, I don't know, but let's get this open and then we'll give you my final thoughts on it. All right, sit tight. Here we go, guys. This is Getting Started with 40K Warhammer 40K, and this is the new 2023 magazine. It comes in this little cardboard envelope package. Where did that come from? Anyway, it's a great magazine. It's 20 bucks, so it's kind of a little bit pricey in my opinion, and I'll explain why in a minute. But nonetheless, 20 bucks, you get this cool cardboard thing. We're going to take this out of the box, and give me a second. We'll see what comes inside. All right, so here we have the magazine, and Getting Started with 40K. Now, I was saying it's pricey, okay? And the only reason I say that is because in America, you could get this magazine for 21 bucks, right? Or $20 and some change off Amazon, obviously with shipping and tax. So yeah, about 21 bucks. Anyway, 21 bucks for a magazine and 2 miniatures. If you're a veteran player, you're not gonna, usually you don't buy this kind of stuff because it's kind of like, nah, that's not really price worthy. But like, and the reason I say that is because, like, for example, Target has an exclusive Warhammer 40K game called Space Marine, the board game, and it's only $40, and you get 10 times the miniatures. You get 20 gaunts, Hormagaunts from Tyranid Army, and 2 Ripper Swarms, and you get a special character, Lieutenant Titus, and that special character alone is going to be $35 to $40 because he's a lieutenant, you know what I mean, and he's a special character. But in 40K, he's probably just going to be a lieutenant, but whatever. Like I said, it's not the greatest value, but the nice thing about these magazines is, let's say you have a friend who's interested in 40K but not really willing to take the plunge, right? So what do, right? You can either, well, most likely what most of us do is we take our friends to some place, or we invite them over and we show them 40K by throwing a game, right? The problem with that is, and that's really the best way to do it, but the only problem I see with it is it's overwhelming. For someone who has no idea what 40K is, you're going to drop them. Even if you do it at a 500 point level or less, it's still a lot to take in, right? It's a lot. At that moment, it's a lot to absorb. Now, they could do research. They could look up the rules, because the rules are free online, right? The core rules. But it's not going to be the same. So this kind of thing, I feel, is like for really fresh, new people who are into kind of the hobby, but not necessarily in depth of 40K. So this is something you spend 20 bucks on, give it as a Christmas gift or a birthday gift or whatever, you know what I mean? And who knows? This way they can read at their leisure, right? Like, they can read about the armies, and, because if you're just spouting it off, which we normally do, right? Well, yeah, this is the Eldar, they're kind of like this. And obviously we're opinionated, right? Well, I like the Space Marines, so I don't care for the Orcs or the Eldar. Or I like the Orcs, so that everything else is stupid. You know what I mean? This will give them a fresh perspective, like a straight-on, neutral, fresh perspective, that they can decide whether or not they want to invest in something like this. And there's a stigmata with 40K, obviously, that it's really, really expensive. And it has gotten very expensive, but so has inflation, so has taxes, so has gasoline. There's very few hobbies that are not as expensive. I was collecting Gundams before the pandemic, and they were very affordable, and I was loving it. But as soon as the pandemic hit, those prices doubled, and they have not gone down. So, yeah, the hobby is not cheap. But here we go. Back to that was my rant. But like I said, you could give this as a really cool gift. Getting started, Warhammer 40K hobby, and it talks about, collect, build, paint, play. That's their motto, now, which is very cool. It's a very simplistic way of looking at things. Obviously, the game is more in depth than that, but it is what it is. You get instructions on building the 2 models. You get some cool artwork, or not artwork, but I don't know what you call this. It's a diorama, but at the same time, I feel like it's art. Like it's an artistic view of diorama, of the miniatures. That's pretty much what sells people, is this kind of stuff here. You know what I mean? Galaxy at War. And again, it goes into, it gives you a little bit of history about the Space Marines, the Imperium, and that kind of stuff. And obviously the Space Marines are the poster children, so they're going to be more featured, right, than most. Tyrannid, which is, the new 10th edition baddie, which is the Tyrannid. They're going to go into a little bit more history about the Tyrannid, where they come from. And again, this is great if you don't, if they don't want to spend any money on models or anything like that right away, give them something like this and they can decide when and if they get involved. And that's the best you can do. Gene Stealer Cult, which are offshoot of the Tyrannid. Astra Militarum, which we all used to know as a Imperial Guard. Adeptus Sororitas, the Sisters of Battle. Adeptus Mechanicus, I kind of like those guys a little bit. Imperial Knights, love these models. Great models. I can't get enough of them. Adeptus Custodes, very cool models if you want to get into it affordably, because you can get a lot of points for a very low cost of money with Custodes. But you're dealing with that. You're dealing with every single model is extremely expensive to field and will be very costly to lose. Grey Knights, another cool faction of Space Marines. Chaos Demons. And you got the 4 different pantheons. Chaos Space Marines. Yeah. And Chaos Space Marine Legions. You've got Khorne, Zench, Nurgle, and Slanesh. That's the one I use. I actually use all of them. I have a little bit of each one. And the Chaos Knights. Oh, these guys are so awesome. Just look at that chaosy goodness. The Tau Empire. I like these guys. Everybody calls them Gundams. They're not Gundams, but they look pretty cool. They look pretty cool. The Eldari, which used to be called the Eldar, which I kind of like too. And you've got the little blurb about the Harlequins, if anybody's interested in playing that. Again, a very elite army, but, minimal models. The Dark Eldar, or Drukhari, that they call them now. They've gotten a really nice upgrade in range. Necrons, they got a nice boost in range a couple years ago. We've got a lot of nice new models. And the Orcs. Orcs is the best. They only get a little shot here, but that's okay. It's enough. Legion of Votan. These are the new guys. They used to be called the Squats, but now they're called the Legion of Votan. The Votani. Very cool. I picked up the Codex just to read about them because I was interested in picking them up, but then I was like, no, I just want to read about them. You know what I mean? And there's nobody out there willing to share their Codex like that, so I just picked up the Codex. Dark Imperium. And it gives you more history about the Imperium and its enemies, the Fourth Tyrannic War, some cool Warzone maps, and how to paint. It gives you cool simple basic instructions on how to get your models table ready. And it's not what they call army or parade, and it's not anything like what I would call tabletop standard, but it gets you there, you know what I mean? It'll get you to the table, and you won't be scoffed at for having unpainted models. And then you go over showcase, of course. How else are they going to sell you models if you don't like what you see, or don't see what you might like? That's probably a better way to say it. Imperial Fists, yeah boy. I like all the armies, dude. I gotta say, I got like a little bit of something about each army. but I can't afford them all. So collecting Space Marines, collecting Tyranid. The board games that come with the new Tyranid models and the Space Marine models. That's cool. The command set. It's got some little bunker terrain. Different paint sets you can get. What you can do to expand your models. And there you go. That's a pretty cool book. All right, man. So here we are. These are the 2 miniatures you get with the magazine, and I just kind of wanted to show you guys what you're getting. So you get the Infernus Marine with, it looks like he emptied up his tank. The tank's right there on the floor, which is kind of cool. And then he's got his pistol out, because, you know, he's got to keep taking care of those Xenos. You know what I mean? Then we have the Tyranid Termagant. I kind of feel like we have some flashbacking to like the original plastic Termagants. You know, you see little bobs a little bit. Yeah. And the original Termagants had like very little contact points to the base, so they'd snap all the damn time. I don't know how many I've snapped and repaired. I've gotten to the point where some just snapped and I just don't repair them anymore. You know, but I do have so many. I think I have over 100 Termagants alone. So, you know, it is what it is. But it's not a bad looking model. It's got a nice little base. You know, I always liked that this magazine, with the models that came with this magazine, were always decorated. I mean, so like, I play Imperial Fists, right? And I play Space Wolves. See? Pow pow. But no you, no you, no you, no you. But I could paint that guy whatever I want. I already have an Infernus squad. He's not going to fit in the squad. I mean, I could use him to practice, like this guy was from the last edition's Indomitus, the Indomitus box sets. This guy was the one for the magazine. You know what I mean? So, you know, it came with a Necron in him. So his base is a little detailed. You know, there's a couple little rocks and stuff. And this guy's got a really nice base. You know, so I could paint him whatever I want. I could practice more Imperial Fist techniques, you know, yellow techniques, because everybody says yellow's hard to paint. But if you know the right formulas, they're really not. I mean, if you watch Goobertown Hobby's how to paint yellow video, he knocks it out of the park. And I'm just like, man, I wish I would have based all my guys red. You know what I mean? And you'll see what I'm talking about. Actually, like this guy, I put some red in first, then I blended some pink, and then I laid down the yellow, which gave me a really nice gradient. You know, it's not the best job I've ever done, but it was fun. You know what I mean? But you can tell I like Imperial Fist. But anyway, great little models. And again, I can just throw this guy in with Termagants. It doesn't matter because I have so many, and the Trevagon keeps making them, and they're now Endless Horde. So why not use another Termagant? But like I said, for this guy, I could definitely use him to practice. Maybe I'll paint him like a salamander. You know what I mean? Or some other chapter, just to see, just to get a feel for painting another color. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to practice. You got to practice with different colors. I mean, if you paint an entire Dark Angels army, you're pretty much using green, white, and red. You know what I mean? And that's it. And this is the Imperial Fist is, you know, yellow, black, yellow, red, burgundy, or whatever color you accentuate with, you know, and then you got the blacks, of course. But so changing it up won't hurt. But anyway, I ranted too much. I apologize. The magazine, even though it's $20, I feel like in the end it is worth it. It was worth it for me because I got 2 minis out of it, right? So let's just say these guys costed a couple bucks. Let's say these guys were like $5, you know, or whatever, you know. That means I got the magazine for 15, which is normally cheaper than what it would cost. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, whatever you want to put a price at. I mean, these guys are, you know, I don't know, break down a squad of 10 guys and see how much that guy costs. I think they're like $51. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's not bad. It's not terrible. And again, it makes a great gift. Okay, that's probably the best gift you can give someone who's on the fence about Warhammer. Right? Just here you go. No commitments. There you go. You know what I'm saying? That you can build them. You can paint them whatever color you want. You can sit them on your shelf. If you read the book and decide, okay, I don't want to play 40K, boom, you know now. Now you didn't invest a whole bunch of money into Warhammer 40K. You know what I mean? And you know, and again, if you just want to have a couple extra models lying around to practice with, there, practice on that. As cheap as it was, practice on that guy before you paint your army guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds silly, but why not? Why not practice on them? That's you can strip it if you don't like it and try again. You know what I mean? I'd rather strip this guy 6 times and repaint him 6 times or 7 times than my actual squaddies that I paid, you know, $55 for, and screw up a color scheme because I was like not sure. You know, I practiced on the orc basis, and you know, I had to do all different kinds of testing. Granted, they were all close, but you know what I mean? You just don't want to screw up. So, like I said, great gift. Great for just having a couple little models lying around to practice with. I got you got Necron, you know, whatever magazine you find, you can get models from. You know what I mean? So I think it's worth it. Like, it is just worth it. Like I said, if you're looking to give a gift, this is the way to go. You know, and it's cheap. It's a $20 gift. You know what I mean? Unless you got big money, then you go spend it on the Target box, and then you get like a bunch more miniatures for $20 more. It's up to you, but there you go. I think it's worth it. That's it, man. That's the how to get started with or getting started with Warhammer 40K. I hope you guys liked the video. As always, like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you on the next one.